everybody? Happy Wednesday, motherfuckers. This is the Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Podcast, the single greatest wrestling podcast on the internet. I am your host, NerdyD, aka I am the podcasting champion of the world. And joining me on the ones and twos tonight is my beautiful and lovely wife, Level Up Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
All right, a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into tonight's episode. So tonight, I got something special planned. Tonight is the first ever Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Award nominee show.
Ooh, okay.
So tonight, I want to, when we get, instead of a burning question tonight, we're going to do the nominees for this year's 2021 Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Awards. Now, let's fucking remember that I've only been watching wrestling now for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So there's a huge asterisk against this year's awards, but who really gives a shit? This is my award show. I can do whatever the hell I want. Mm-hmm. So what we'll be doing, we'll announce all of the nominees tonight. Okay. I've got like 7 or 8 categories. We'll announce those nominees, and then we'll do Twitter polls. And Instagram only allows you 2 choices. I mean, TikTok only allows you 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to work because I have 4 nominees in each category. So we'll probably do Twitter polls.
Okay.
And if we only get like 6 votes, I don't give a fuck.
We're gonna go with what they
It's
go.
just for fun.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come up with the 2021 Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Awards, and we'll be doing that in like 20-30 minutes.
All right.
What else do I have here? We're really gonna put an emphasis on the Spotify and the YouTube show right now. We'll try and build up that audience a little bit more. The TikTok does what TikTok does, right? We don't really fucking control it.
Yeah.
Some videos fucking hit and they go out of control and we get 10,000 people yelling at us. And then other videos that we think are really good, they do fucking garbage, right? So TikTok is TikTok. I'm too old to fucking understand it anyway. I just know I talk a bunch of shit. You put the videos on TikTok and then fucking people watch it and they tell me what an idiot I am.
Yeah.
Which I don't fucking care, right? But we're really going to emphasize on trying to clean up the YouTube, clean up the Spotify, put proper SEO into the videos, make some breakout clips from the full podcast. So if you're just interested in what I say about WWE, you could get to that content more quickly. If you're more interested in the AEW stuff, get to that more quickly. If you just want to hear the news, you can get the news. And if you just want to see us play 21 or 20 questions, you can do that as well, right? So if you're interested in what we're talking about, you can pretty much pick apart and find what you want. If not, we appreciate when you watch the whole episode. That's fucking awesome as well. All right, that's into housekeeping. Let's jump into right off the bat a little bit of the SmackDown, right? So SmackDown was, I believe it was in Los Angeles this week, right?
Yeah.
And we got a cold opening of Sami Zayn in a wheelchair.
Yes, which was awesome.
So I want to go on record. Sami Zayn is the most underappreciated wrestler in the WWE. Because everything I read about him on the internet is like, well, he's not great on a microphone. He's not great in ring. I just don't think he has the fucking opportunity to ever do anything.
True.
Right? They've buried him for so long that now he's in the spotlight, and I think he's fucking taking the ball and running with it, right? They talk about reaching up and grabbing that brass ring. I feel like Sami Zayn reached up, took the fucking brass ring, and ran away with it. And unfortunately, because of the booking in the WWE, I don't know that it fucking goes anywhere, right?
Yeah, it has potential.
It has potential. The chemistry between Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And who would have thought that, right?
Definitely.
And can we take a second? Babyface Brock Lesnar is the thing in wrestling I never knew I fucking needed.
Oh, yeah, fucking for sure.
I mean, Brock Lesnar's a pretty funny guy. Or at least he comes off that way. Like, I have appreciated... The character of Brock Lesnar just coming out and beating people up every week.
It got old.
It's fucking old to me, right? Because it almost feels like, here's big dumb guy. Big dumb guy come out, beat everybody. Mm-hmm. Don't let dumb guy talk on microphone, right? But then all of a sudden, fucking Brock Lesnar's got a personality.
Yep.
The whole like let's go hunting thing with Sami Zayn, fucking let's explore that more.
In my head, I always imagined Brock Lesnar was a little dumb. like
So
intellectually
what's
wise.
funny is I thought that I've never thought Brock Lesnar was dumb, but I've always thought Brock Lesnar's character comes
Exactly.
off as dumb.
Yeah.
And they almost portray like big Viking, me fight hard. Like what the fuck? They never let him have a person. Okay, not never, guys. Since I've watched Brock Lesnar, I've never seen personality. Paul Heyman's always talked for him, or he's just been the beast,
big guy.
right? The beast comes out and ruins everything. And coming out of this suspension to just have a fucking 180 character change, and he could still be the beast, right? Because we talk about this. Comedy doesn't work for the sake of comedy. You can't just be the funny guy.
Yeah.
But you could be the dominant guy who's also funny, and that works extremely well.
Yes.
But yeah, this babyface Brock Lesnar is what I didn't know I needed. This Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar kind of buddy comedy we got going on is something I never thought I needed. Then we have, once again, cleverly playing back in this Paul Heyman chronicle where we see Paul Heyman slipping back in to Brock Lesnar's advocate. And
Yeah.
it's as far as I'm concerned, it's being done in a fun way by drawing it out where it's not just like we keep going, is he, isn't he? Is he, isn't he? Who's going to cost, finally Roman Reigns, his title? While of course it's the big surprise is it's Paul Heyman is what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
What if it's Sami Zayn?
Ooh, that would be a
What
good
if
one.
what if at day one fucking Sami Zayn comes out because now he's Brock Lesnar's buddy and he cost Roman Reigns the title at day one? That would be hella interesting. Is if we get a Brock Lesnar Sami Zayn buddy fucking story where Sami is the advocate for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking fun. That would be a lot of fun. It's better than just throwing I get SmackDown is better when Paul Heyman's on TV. There's
for sure.
no doubt about that, right? SmackDown's better when Paul Heyman's on TV. But how long can you just have Paul Heyman jump to who's the champion? If he costs Roman Reigns the title and he jumps back to Brock Lesnar, I think that I really think that I don't know, just me being in my creative mind would be, let's let Sami Zayn have that role and let's kind of abuse Paul Heyman for a little bit. Paul Heyman's good at that, at kind of taking the abuse.
I love him.
But I'm excited. They've got me excited now for day one pay-per-view just because of this. I'm not positive. I'll have to look this up after the show. I believe by the time we get to day one, we will be close to Roman Reigns surpassing the all-time streak
period.
of Brock Lesnar for the Universal Champion, which is obviously what WWE is trying to do with that title. So once we get past that, then we can start going, okay, there's a realistic opportunity for Roman Reigns to lose this title.
Yeah.
Just quick off topic here a little bit.
Okay.
Thought it was interesting. We asked the question last week, who we thought was going to be the first to lose their belt. And I saw an overwhelming response for Becky Lynch.
See, I thought I saw a lot of Big E. I saw Biggie.
Really?
Biggie.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people talking Becky Lynch, and I got more to talk about that on Raw. We'll get to that, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting.
Yeah.
The main event of SmackDown was the Usos versus the New Day versus RK Bro.
Yeah.
Start off by talking about my boy Xavier Woods finally got a new fucking crown after weeks of me saying, why can't we get him a new fucking crown? Do you just get one? Now, the new crown, fucking huge upgrade from the previous plastic looking piece of shit. Now, Xavier Woods looks like the Space King, but he's kind of the video game sci-fi guy, so it fits. Him and Kofi, the way they portray the kingdom and being the king, they're just better at this than most people.
Yeah, the imagination, and I think that the follow through that they have on it is great.
I know the match was billed as who's the best tag team in the WWE, right? But I think fucking hands down, it is the New Day. They're just better at this.
And they're even good without Big E.
They don't need Big E. I said that, but I said that a few weeks ago. I said they don't need Big E. that Kofi and Xavier are the prime example of what a good tag team can be, right? Two guys that probably they're never going to main event run. They just don't have it in them to be long-term main event characters. Not a knock on them. Size plays into that a little bit.
Yeah.
They just don't have it, right? Kofi,
and the personality may be too much of one thing. Does that make sense?
well, they're better together than they are. But they're also better together than they are apart. Well, I think this is a little bit of a problem for Big E. Is Big E's trying to portray that New Day character without the rest of the New Day, and it's getting a little bit lost, right? I thought
weird at times because then he tries to be serious, and it's like, who are you, bro?
Yeah, he tries to be serious. And then we'll talk about it on the Raw. But when he was taking the fucking notes and throwing up in the air, that's funny, but it's also stupid.
Yeah.
It like for your WWE champion to be back there fucking like playing around and shit, then you go out there and get beat. But we'll get to that when we get to the Raw, right? Little bit random that RK Bro was on SmackDown. I get probably they're just around or whatever. You always wonder if there's something bigger at play. Is Fox starting to demand, hey, we need bigger names? I did see Fox made some comments allegedly made comments that they want WWE to take a hard look at MJF.
Ooh.
When his contract's up, that they want to present like a briefcase full of money for MJF.
I love MJF.
Yeah, but is MJF, can he be what he is in WWE? Or is he just the Miz? Because if you put a muzzle, right? A muzzle on him, if you don't allow him to be that raw shit talking MJF, is he not just kind of the Miz?
Yeah. I mean, because I think
But then you already have the Miz.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that works.
I don't know how much the WWE censors them. I feel like in AEW they have a little less censorship, and that could just be
zero fucking censorship.
Okay, so
I think they're allowed to say what they want to say,
which is why you get that awesome reaction.
It's why certain guys fit better. It's why we're all sitting around, and we're way off topic on SmackDown here, but it's why we're all sitting around going, when the fuck is CM Punk going to take advantage of the fact that he could do or say almost anything he wants?
Yeah.
Because right now we got PG Punk, and that shit, PG Punk, man, if you wanted to do this shit, go back to WWE. That was perfect. The other title picture on SmackDown is Charlotte and Toni Storm. Okay. More fucking... This is bad booking by WWE. So what we got was I can only assume they called it a contenders match. But in history... a contenders match typically takes place between two people who are contending for the title. You don't typically take somebody who is already kind of looks like they're in line for the title and go, okay, you're going to go against the championship or the champion and you got to contend. And if you win, I assume now that she gets a title shot at day one. Uh-huh. But then you get this thing where Charlotte just fucking completely smashes her and gets disqualified for beating the hell out of her. So this books WWE into a corner. Yeah. Because you have two things that happen here, right? If Charlotte goes over Toni Storm at day one, then you just completely fucking buried Toni Storm. Yeah. Because you just made it like Charlotte can fucking stomp on whoever she wants. She can give them a title match. And then when they get to that title match, they can't get over the top of the mountain. This is why I think Charlotte is in the most danger of losing her title belt, because it just feels like to me, SmackDown doesn't have enough people, enough female superstars that you could just keep fucking burying people underneath Charlotte. Yeah, and I think that the fans would be a little bit excited for a fresh-faced champion on SmackDown, like Toni Storm.
Well, and I feel like they're trying to go for that younger demographic with everything, and maybe this is them trying to revamp it.
You just read something, because I don't believe that. I'm
not thinking that because they're pushing. What's that guy with Vince McMahon? I can't think of his name right now. Selfie Man.
Austin Theory. But, yes. But whatever. That's all stupid to me. That Austin Theory shit. I think they're just fucking confused. I mean, you got to bring up new talent and push new talent, but I don't think that. I don't think Fox or any of them is just clamoring like, hey, we need young people. I think the WWE does fine.
You think they made it up on their own?
I think that I think Charlotte's been kind of in hot water for a little bit. I think that you've got to have a title change at day one. One of the 4 has to lose. We can't just keep up with these 4 champions.
True.
Because it's just stale at the top. So people say it's Becky. I think Becky's got a little longer run in her. I think I could see Liv going over at like WrestleMania. But I think Charlotte's worn her fucking welcome. And I think she's the first one. So I think she drops it.
All right.
But what is, because what is the payoff if not? If Charlotte wins again, what? We just, next up, is it Sasha Banks? Who else is on SmackDown?
We talked about this
Naomi, but Naomi's locked up with Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
What, there's Natalya?
Yeah, but I feel like Natalya is just somebody they have there to show up every once in a while.
Shotzi, but she disappeared.
Yeah, what the fuck?
She just showed up for a couple weeks and then disappeared.
I don't know.
And that's the weird thing about WWE, right? Because I felt like she was getting over. Mm-hmm. I felt like a lot of people who were new to the Shotzi game.
Look, we went to SmackDown, and that's the person who our daughter was the most excited about.
Yeah, was super excited after seeing her.
I was excited about her.
Whatever, babe.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Monday Night Raw here. All right, so Monday Night Raw. It's like I feel like obligated to talk about it because it's a title. We got to talk about the women's tag team champions. This is the biggest joke of a division in the WWE right now. It's more of a joke than the belt that is actually supposed to be a joke, right? The 24/7.
Okay.
24/7 is actually supposed to be a joke, but the women's tag team, what the fuck are we? Is there just going to be 2 teams who vie for this the whole time, and then we're supposed to suspend belief because they're making Rhea Ripley, someone with a ton of potential. They make her look like a big fucking doofus, right?
Yeah.
She gets distracted. She gets beat by Zelina. I don't know, man. It just seems like with so much.
Well, and the fact that like Zelina looks like a little midget next to her.
Yeah.
You know?
And size matters, and there's creative ways. When I talk about size, like Rey Mysterio, there's creative ways to make small guys beat bigger guys, bigger characters.
And it's believable, or at least like, okay, that could happen. But that situation was not that at all.
It's been like the last 3 weeks or the last 3 times that Zelina's faced Rhea Ripley, it's I gotcha, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're supposed to believe that like Rhea Ripley's just a big dumb person.
Yeah. Like
she can't fucking understand that, hey, they're going to try and fucking roll you up for a win. Mm-hmm. I don't like the booking. I like Zelina and Carmella as champions.
Oh,
I think they're awesome. Good, but I think you've got to that division needs more parity.
Yeah.
Because I don't know
who are the tag team women?
There's just not enough of them. They got rid of the Iconics. There's not enough. To me, when I lay out the women's division all the way through, mm-hmm. There's not a lot of wrestlers right now. Alexa Bliss is gone. Sasha Banks is SmackDown. She doesn't really have anybody she could partner with. Maybe Naomi and Sasha would be a good team. I don't know. They looked like they were pairing up Naomi with the Xia Li girl.
Oh, true.
So there's that, but
that's like 3 groups. That's not enough.
I just feel obligated to talk about it because it's a title belt. But honestly, I don't. It's one of those divisions. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about the WWE women's tag team division?
And it was because like 5 seconds.
They don't do exactly. That's my point. They don't give you a reason to give a fuck. I would love to give a fuck, but they don't give you a reason to care.
Exactly.
It's almost like, oh shit, we do have women's tag team belts, right? All right, well, put them on Zelina and Carmella, and I guess we'll find something for them to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yes, sir.
We talked a little bit about it, but Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan,
yeah,
same booking style. I feel like it's a mirror of what's going on SmackDown, right? You have Liv Morgan, who was cheated out of her victory last week on Monday Night Raw. Then she comes out this week with the whole, hey man, you need to give me a fair shot. Becky kind of turns her down. She attacks Becky. Then Becky goes, you can have your shot. and then proceeds to beat the life out of Liv Morgan, right? But just sticks her arm, which here we go again, sticks her arm in a giant hole
that she can't move.
That she can't get her hand out of, and then proceeds to stomp onto the stairs, which never looked like she was stomping on the arm. That was bad work all the way around.
I love how they shake the camera when that goes on, though.
I noticed that real bad. WWE does this thing where, like, when someone's getting stomped or something's happening, the camera starts doing this, like, weird wiggle movement.
Yes.
And it does. It's like, I think it's just to give you the illusion of, like,
I'm being shooken right now.
Well, you're not being able to focus on the fact that, like, they're not really kicking them.
Yeah.
They're not really punching them. And it's interesting. I don't know if I like it or dislike it. I noticed it more than ever this past week.
Makes me feel like I'm right in the action.
But here we go again, right? We're booking ourselves into a corner because seemingly, I agree with a lot of people that Liv Morgan is probably the most deserving of winning a belt at day one. But they're building Becky up to be this big bad monster. And if Liv doesn't win, then once again, it's like Becky Lynch is so good that she can do whatever she wants. She can taunt her opponents, and then she buries them.
Yeah.
And it's starting to feel like, who's next up to get buried? I'm not under the belief that, like, anybody can win. It just feels like they're protected. Now, that leads me to the question. I don't think they both lose at day one.
Okay.
I don't think that both Becky and Charlotte can lose.
No, it's got to be one or the other.
If you have to choose between the two, I think Charlotte loses first, and then I think that they're setting Liv Morgan up for a, like, triumphant win, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something else cheaty happens at day one, right? Becky does something even more devious, or gets herself disqualified, or gets herself counted out, and costs Liv the match again, and then we hit the home stretch to WrestleMania, and maybe they're building towards a WrestleMania match between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan, which I think, with the right kind of storytelling, could be compelling.
Yeah.
What else do we have on Raw? Oh, we had the Bobby Lashley Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So initially, I despised the idea of adding Bobby Lashley to the title picture because it's one of those things. I don't love Bobby Lashley's character. The way they've done this, I'm intrigued. Okay, I'll say I liked the idea of having a gauntlet style. I always love wrestling when you take one story and it kind of plays out through a whole episode of either Raw, SmackDown, Rampage, Dynamite, whatever it is. But you take one story and it intertwines through the whole theme of the night, right? Yeah. And so it was kind of cool to go, if you want in this match, you've got to beat the following three characters. And I liked the way they built upon each kind of, like, each step of the challenge. There was almost a logical way for it to end without Bobby Lashley just having to fucking murder and squash people. It was like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens created their own fucking doom. They created the problem, right? Because you had the first match, which was Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. Good
match, solid match. And then it looks like Bobby Lashley's going to get Kevin Owens into the Hurt Locker. Boom, quick tap, right? Quick tap out.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, right? Because if you're Kevin Owens and you know there's two more opportunities, you're not getting fucking hurt.
True.
And I liked his explanation. Nobody taps out of the Hurt Locker. Yeah. So what you accomplish there as WWE is you make Bobby Lashley look very strong and you make Kevin Owens look very intelligent. So you got what you needed out of that. Okay.
True.
So then we move on. Let's talk about Seth Rollins. The chemistry between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens is fucking impeccable. There's something there. I almost think this is building towards a Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens tag team. Because I think they have the same chemistry that Jericho and Kevin Owens had.
Okay.
They can kind of bicker and argue, but they could be funny and friendly. I like the dynamic going there. I liked Kevin Owens coming over and being like, I'll go out there and help you, bro. I got your back.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins being like, no. And then once again, showing intelligence, Kevin Owens comes out and gets Seth Rollins disqualified. Because
that was genius, bro.
That counts as a win for Seth Rollins. Now, here we go. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville come out, sling their fucking, their power around. restart the match, and there you go. Another solid way for Bobby Lashley to win a match that didn't make Seth Rollins, it didn't squash Seth Rollins. It just looked like, hey, we tried something, it didn't work. Fuck. Turn around, spear, it's over, right?
Yes.
Then you go into the last match with Big E and Bobby Lashley. That was pretty predictable at that point. I told you, right? Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are obviously going to come out, which they did. The swerve was that MVP was the real MVP, and he ends up coming up and using his cane to whack Big E in the leg and take him out. Good setup on this thing, man. Good setup for a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship. Now, if I start playing with odds, Bobby Lashley's chance to win this match, 0.
Okay.
Seth Rollins' chance to win this match, 25%. No.
I think his is higher. I think he could win.
I don't think it's time. I don't think it's time for him. I think so what I'm getting to here is I think it's they're either going to keep the belt on Big E, which is what I think they do ultimately, or Kevin Owens gets the belt. I think that they're ready for Kevin Owens to get the belt. And that's based on breaking news today that Kevin Owens has re-signed with the WWE.
Damn.
So no, we don't know how long or what the terms are, but the rumors are that he signed a pretty solid deal with WWE. So he's here for the long term. So I could see them putting the belt on him. I also could see them, though, allowing Big E to retain, because Big E his character really needs the belt, and he needs a big, strong, like long feud. And I think that could be with Bobby Lashley. I think that Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins could do the buddy cop thing where they hate each other, but they love each other. Have them accidentally win the tag team championship somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Where, they're forced to tag together. That story could tell itself, and it would be fucking gold. So I think that they're setting Big E up for a storyline with Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
Because I think that makes sense for Big E. It's a big bad guy. I also think that they added Bobby Lashley to this match
to add size.
No, I think initially they thought we're gonna turn Kevin Owens, right?
Okay.
Because it looked like they were turning him heel, and then I think they looked around, the crowd fucking got behind Kevin Owens, and I think they said, "Oh no, we're gonna have to put another bad guy in this match because the crowd's too much behind him to make him the main heel of this match."
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on that.
All right.
All right, let's jump to some AEW.
Is it?
AEW, we got talk about CM Punk, MJF. We were in Long Island, the home of MJF, right? And we started off with a CM Punk promo, which once again, I don't know. At this point, I've been told I'm a CM Punk hater so much, and I'm really somebody, I fucking loved CM Punk.
You did.
I was a huge CM Punk person, but I think I've got, what's the syndrome where like they tell you something for so long?
Munchausen's.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
I think Munchausen's is when you think
you're sick.
or whatever. But whatever. I've got like people have beaten into me that I'm a CM Punk hater, that maybe I just fucking like regressed into a CM Punk hater. Because I don't think anything CM Punk has done since he came to AEW, besides the first night he came out, has been overly electrifying.
Okay.
I think that him and MJF going back and forth was good. Mm-hmm. Not fucking phenomenal. It was good. It's been above average. I thought that this promo that he gave in Long Island, I thought it was low-hanging fruit. I thought he lays way too heavy into fucking hockey references about talking shit about the Islanders. And I get it. It's a weird situation to be in because he's supposed to be the face. Yeah. But then you're going into a hostile crowd, which wasn't as hostile as they tried to fucking make it sound like. Like, there were people who were fucking fans of MJF, but the crowd wasn't overwhelmingly MJF fans. Yeah. There was just as much crowd reaction for Punk. So for him to kind of turn on the Long Island fans I don't know. It's AEW still, to me, just kind of feels like fucking winging it is what it feels like. They just go out and they fucking wing it, right? Like, oh shit, this is an MJF crowd. Let's fucking wing it. Yeah. The MJF tease where he teased becoming a face and going back and helping Dante Martin. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
It just plays up the whole MJF character of like he's home, he's the hometown hero, but he's not torn enough to fucking turn into a good guy. That's good. On Rampage, we got the debut of Hook.
Okay.
Hook is Taz's son. Everybody seemed real hot on that. He just looks like another wrestler to me. Another WWE guy, got the stupidest. Another AEW guy. It's good to see an AEW homegrown star. I will say that, right?
Yeah.
It's good to see somebody who is no affiliation.
Actual son, right?
Yeah. He has no affiliation with like any other company that I know of. And it looks like he got over pretty quickly, and the AEW fans respect and put him in high regard. Now, does he have the stupidest fucking hair in wrestling? Yes. What the fuck is on top? And I get it. I got zero hair. Okay. So call me a hair hater now, but that's the stupidest fucking haircut I've seen. It's like a fucking, like, it looks like Donald Trump's hair, but like if you took a hair dryer and blew it straight up, it's like a fucking rooster or a cockatoo or some shit.
I never realized that was his son.
Yes. That's his son.
Oh, shit.
And he's got the stupidest fucking hair in all of wrestling. Maybe a hell of a wrestler. I couldn't tell. How tall is he?
Let me
Because he looks like he's one of the bigger wrestlers, but he's always standing next to big time
I always
Hobbs.
thought that he was little. So he's 6 foot, 201 pounds.
This is 6 foot. It's another guy that's just not overly fucking big.
See, I always thought he was a little boy. Like, I wonder how old he is, because I always thought he was like...
He's young. He's like 22, 23, I think. I think he's fairly young. So, but good for him. Good for him. I'm all about that. Like, I give
22.
22.
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit is due. I thought in the ring, he looked really fucking good. I don't love the boxing shorts, but once again, I don't give a fuck. I mean, nobody gives a fuck what I think.
Get it? Like right hook. That's why they call him Hook.
Is it?
I would assume so. If he's wearing boxing shorts, motherfucker.
Maybe it is. Maybe I just fucking missed that completely. But
I'm a genius.
yeah, stupidest fucking hair in the business. Brit Baker, if we're going to talk about champions,
Okay.
she's just stuck in the middle of this TNT fucking thing because I guess AEW can only do one thing with women at a time.
Yeah.
So right now they're focused on the TNT tournament, which she's not really a part of, but Jamie Hayter was.
Yeah.
So she was out there getting involved. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who is that girl that's always with her with the black hair?
I don't remember.
Her assistant?
I don't know. I think they're just like buddies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once again, kind of like WWE, these companies like preach women empowerment, but there's so much fucking talent on both of those rosters that deserves spots over half of the other people that are getting spots. And yet we're just locked behind like the TNT tournament has been good. Don't get me wrong. That's been fun to watch, but that can't be the only thing going on. Cause it also has drug on a long time that every week I fucking forget who's still in it and who's left. I don't know who's still in the tournament. Is it Thunder Rosa?
Honestly, I have no fucking idea.
Is it Jade Cargill or something like that's her name?
That's
I don't
the
know.
girl with the like white hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Cool. I guess you can call me AEW hater. It's just that
hater,
stuff.
just we'll see
that's
what
on
happens.
a week to week basis. That stuff doesn't draw me in.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have Bryan Danielson is. Well, we know tonight. So after this, like always, I will run and watch AEW tonight.
Okay.
So I don't talk about it till a week later. So I'm usually behind on the AEW news. He finished off apparently the rest of the Dark Order, and tonight at Winter is Coming, he's fighting for the AEW World Championship.
All right.
Whether he wins it or not, I don't know. Anything I say here will fucking be made void by what happens
What's your
tonight.
prediction?
So I think he loses. I think Bryan Danielson loses. I think he should win, but I think they've invested too much in Hangman to not go forward. At least it almost would seem disrespectful.
Fuck it.
If you transition,
Give it to Bryan.
No. Now that's my real opinion. Is fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Because ratings aren't about respect, but
No, it's
there
about
is
shock value.
There is a respect side to wrestling, and I think if you really wanted to turn Daniel Bryan like full on heel, let him take down the beloved Adam Page. But I don't know. Well, I'll find out tonight what happened. And I'm guessing, if I'm just guessing right now, Adam Page beat Bryan Danielson in a hell of a match.
All right.
Because they're both great wrestlers.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's move on to this week's burning question. You got to get the sound. You got to hit the sound.
Ooh,
oh my God.
What are we moving on to? What are we moving on to? Burn it down! Ooh.
This week's burning question is actually being replaced by the first ever 2021 Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Awards asterisk edition, because I've only been watching since SummerSlam. So what's funny is I was looking up just to refresh myself on like match of the year and things like that. And there's matches I have no fucking clue what happened, right? Because they happened pre-August.
Yeah.
But fuck it. We're going to do this because we're going to make this a yearly thing.
Okay.
So the first one, we'll put an asterisk by all these winners. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories.
Okay. Let's go.
6 categories.
All right.
First category right off the bat, I have my match or the NerdyD match of the year. So I have 4 matches. I'll talk about them for a second, and then we will do a Twitter poll or something to find out. We'll announce the winners next week on the Christmas edition of the Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Podcast.
Feliz Navidad, bitches.
All right, so for match of the year, I have number 1 nominee is the Edge and Seth Rollins cage match at Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Good match, solid match. That was kind of the blow off, the I think you call it blow off match. The final straw, nail in the coffin for Edge and Seth Rollins in Abu Dhabi or wherever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel.
Okay.
So that to me, that was one of the matches that excited me this year. Number 2, I have Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam, which was the 30-minute time limit draw. I've gone on record as saying I don't want that every fucking week. But that, in the moment that it was fucking perfect. That was one of the best pure wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, I'll agree with you. Okay.
Number 3, I have the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers at All Out.
I love that.
This was a tag team cage match where one of the Young Bucks put the Jordans on that had spikes on the bottom. This was a pretty bloody physical match. I had said at the time that was my first real introduction to seeing the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers in like full on, this is a match.
Yeah.
I'd seen the Lucha Brothers and I'd seen the Young Bucks, but it was all in kind of gimmicky, storytelling type things. This was the night where I realized, the Young Bucks are a real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
They're a real thing. They're good at what they do.
Times like grabbed you because I was like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was hard to look at sometimes and stuff, but that was the night where I go, I get it.
That's when I love wrestling the most, though.
Exactly. I get it. I get why the Young Bucks are regarded where they are.
For sure.
And then number 4, I have this kind of a sleeper was Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk at Full Gear.
Okay.
This is the one where I talk about, God, there was so much more juice in that fucking orange to squeeze out. And I know this just happened because of the unfortunate situation with Moxley, but there's chemistry, even if it's real negativity, between CM Punk and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
And even though I think Eddie Kingston is a crybaby bitch, I thought that was one of my favorite matches that I watched because it just felt like they didn't like each other, and it felt good, and there was chemistry there. Whether that chemistry just stems from them fucking despising each other, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, then I got surprise of the year. Well, let's hear first. What do you think? You out of those 4, what's your choice? Who will you be voting for in the Twitter poll?
For which one?
Because we may be the only 2 motherfuckers
for
voting.
Match of the year or
for match of the year.
Match of the year. I'm actually going to go with 3 Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers.
Nice, like it. Good choice. I don't want to sway the poll, so I won't say mine until next week, who I thought was going to win. Surprise of the year.
Okay.
And I'm going to run through these a little faster. I don't want to sit and take too much time. Surprise of the year, we got nominee number 1 is Adam Cole becomes All Elite, right?
Yeah.
We knew there was a possibility, but I think that it was the swerve of everybody knowing that like Bryan Danielson was probably going to show up, that Adam Cole was able to slide in under that.
Yeah.
And I thought, so that was awesome. Okay. So that's one surprise. Number 2, the release of Bray Wyatt from WWE.
Yeah.
I think that was fairly surprising. It feels like fucking forever ago, but that was a pretty big surprise to me because I don't know how much money Bray Wyatt made, but it feels like the marketability of his character was enough that you just go, just fucking keep him on the roster, right?
Yeah.
So we can just sell his merchandise.
Yeah. I mean, they had Alexa Bliss basically still his whole thing. So, I mean.
But why couldn't you have them both do it is what I don't understand.
I agree.
We got number 3 was Brock Lesnar's return with a new look at SummerSlam.
Man bun.
With the fucking samurai man bun.
Yeah.
That was pretty exciting. Even though I think a lot of people knew it was happening. Maybe they didn't know it was happening. I don't remember back that far. It's a long fucking
Word on
time
the
ago.
street.
These months just roll by. And then surprise of the year number 4 was Cody Rhodes set himself on fucking fire.
Ooh, yeah.
That was a hell of a surprise to me.
I'm not sure which one I'd pick in that.
I know that I didn't get to watch it till after I read about it, but when I first initially saw it, I was like, why the fuck are you setting yourself on fire?
Okay, I'm going to say that's not surprising because Cody Rhodes will do anything.
But it's still surprising because in this day and age, it just feels like everything is so protected. And it's like, hey, man.
He's on fire.
People aren't going to like, the television network's not going to like you setting yourself on fire.
Yeah.
He got set. He was on fire.
He didn't tell them to the last minute. By the way, guys, there's going to be some fucking fire here today. Don't tell anybody.
I'm going to set the table on fire tonight. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm going to set the table on fire tonight.
Just go with it, Andrade. It's okay.
All right. So the third category will be, so what's your choice for that? Surprise of the year.
Bray Wyatt release.
Interesting. Okay.
Definitely.
Next category will be the tag team of the year. Take in mind, I've been watching since August. So there's an asterisk next to all of these nominees. Number 1, the Young Bucks. Like we said, after seeing Luchas and Young Bucks, I get it. And I get it with all the elite, the super elite, and Adam Cole together. That's all been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Usos.
Okay.
They're here kind of by default, but I feel like the last month or two, the Usos have had a bad run of opportunities, right? They're kind of being used as pawns in the whole bloodline Roman Reigns scheme.
Definitely.
So, but they're still one of the best tag teams.
Okay.
RK Bro.
Yeah.
I think they're front runner to win this year. The chemistry between those two guys, it shouldn't fucking work.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work, and it works better than anything.
I've always loved Randy Orton, and Riddle is just awesome.
And then number 4 is the New Day, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm talking when I say New Day, I'm talking
all 3 or just
2.
The 2?
I'm talking the 2. Like when I put those 2 in there, they deserve their respect without Big E, and nothing against Big E, but they deserve the spotlight for how well they have carried on the New Day name minus Big E right now.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so who you got for tag team of the year?
Number 3, RK Bro.
Good choice. I think that's a solid choice, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm biased on that though because I just like them.
Breakout star of the year. Now, take in mind, this is breakout star to me. This is somebody that I've been introduced to this year that I didn't know much about before. Keep in mind, I'm not an NXT watcher, so I don't. These people might have had great careers in NXT, but I didn't fuck with them when they were in NXT. They're breakout stars to me. So number 1 is Riddle.
Okay.
Since I've started watching in August, I think he's been a bright spot for WWE, and he's been one of the only reasons for a long time that Monday Night Raw was stomachable. I went on my Raw detox this year.
I agree.
And still liked to check in and see what Riddle and Randy Orton were doing.
True.
Number 2 is Big E. Now, I know fucking Big E's been around a long time, but this has been, what happened? We lose a camera?
Yeah.
Okay, just keep it on the other camera for now. Okay. This has been the resurgence of Big E. That camera's on a timer, I believe.
Okay.
This has been the resurgence of Big E. This has been the coming of Big E, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of come into his own in the spotlight in the main event. So I think it's right that we call Big E a singles breakout star this year.
Yeah.
Number 3, Bianca Belaire. I know that after post SummerSlam, she's been in a difficult place, but I think since like WrestleMania, she was in the spotlight, and she's like one of the most searched female athletes in all sports on the internet. So I think that definitely warrants being a breakout star, right?
It's an interesting statistic to know.
It was on Instagram. I
Okay.
get all my shit from Instagram.
Okay.
It was her and Sasha Banks were two of the most searched female wrestlers on the internet.
That's interesting.
Then I've got Brit Baker. And she had the match with Thunder Rosa back in like March or something like that, where she had the blood. And since then, she's kind of dominated and carried the AEW women's division, rightfully so. There's nobody really there yet that I think can carry the torch the same way
I agree.
she can carry it. They're trying to build people around her. They're trying it with Ruby Riott and Jade Cargill and these people.
I'm sorry. I don't like Ruby Riott.
I get that you don't like her, but they're at least trying to build. You got to work with the pieces you have.
I agree.
Right? You have to work. Now, you like her or don't like her, that's a different story, but they're at least trying. They got to build somebody up to that level.
Of the people, I'd say she's at a higher level. I'll agree with you on that.
Britt Baker,
she's kind of boring to me.
But Britt Baker can't hold that belt forever.
I agree. They need somebody else to help her out.
All right, so then I have female star of the year. Oh, wait, let's go back. Who do you think is your breakout star?
Number one, Riddle.
Riddle? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Female star of the year.
Okay.
We have number one, Becky Lynch. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward category here. Number one, Becky Lynch. Number two, Bianca Belair. Number three, Dr. Britt Baker. And number four, Sasha Banks.
That's easy. 3, Dr. Britt Baker.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love her. I think she's a great character.
But you think she's been the best female star this year? So you're telling me that you think...
Okay. So if I'm going off of who I like the best...
But it's not. We're going for the
Baker.
female star of the year.
The female star of the year, I'm going to go number one, Becky Lynch. She stole it.
If we're going since August, this is the asterisk edition, it's Becky Lynch. I think if we're going full year, I think it's Bianca Belair.
I agree with you on that.
All right, the last category here.
One.
Male superstar of the year. Number one, Kenny, the best bout machine, Omega.
Okay.
And I got introduced to him this year. That was the only time I've ever seen Kenny Omega. Even though he didn't wrestle a whole lot, I will say, his character's funny. He's good on a microphone. He does the job. He checks all the fucking boxes for a primetime star. Number two, call it how you want to call it, Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan. He's been both names this year.
Yeah.
But everywhere he fucking goes, he's kind of the guy.
Yeah.
And he had a good run there with Roman Reigns, and he's got a hell of a run going in AEW. So you can't discount the fact that where he goes, there's a lot of attention on him.
Yeah.
Number three, I have Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Obviously, he's fucking Roman Reigns, right? So he's been the head of the table. He's Jesus, got things talking.
Yeah.
He's been champion for 400,000 days, it seems like, and nobody thinks he'll ever lose. He's got the backing of the WWE, so he was number one on the PWI top 100 wrestlers. So yeah, he deserves at least the opportunity in this list. And then number four, though I've been down on the dude, CM Punk, you got to talk about him, right? You got to put him as a possibility for Superstar of the Year because he did come back and fucking set the wrestling world on fire. He was a big reason for me investing time into AEW. And he's undefeated so far this year. And he's fought quite a few guys. You can just let it go. It'll stop after a while. But he hasn't lost a match this year, and he's going into another big feud that everybody's talking about with MJF. So what
I don't know. That's a hard one for me.
I don't think he's been the CM Punk that he can be, but unfortunately for the state of wrestling right now, to be number one, you don't really have to be.
True.
So what we'll do with those categories is we'll do some Twitter polls. I don't know if we can figure out some way to make it work on TikTok. We'll do some of that, but we're gonna take votes and figure out. We'll come up with and we'll announce the award winners next week.
All right.
All right. So let's jump into the dirt sheets here. How much time? What time are we at?
49.
Okay, cool. So we're right on time. All right. So got about 5 stories to talk about. Number one, we hit on it a little bit earlier. We'll hit on it a little bit more. So rumor is that Kevin Owens has re-signed with the WWE. I know there's going to be a lot of people who don't like this, right? All the AEW people thought this was a lock, that he goes over to the AEW. That's where all his buddies are, right? But I think that something's happened with Adam Cole that makes some of these WWE guys go, I don't know if that's the right path, right? Because one thing I notice about AEW is it's crowded at the top.
Yeah.
It's top heavy. Lots of guys are looking for the big prize. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page is the current champion. You have all these guys at the top. And if you're Kevin Owens and you go, if I go over there, where do I fit in that list, right? I don't know that Kevin Owens at this point in his career is just dying to be the TNT. I think I called the TBS championship earlier, the TNT tournament.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
But they're stupid fucking names for belts anyway. But I don't think at this point at Kevin Owens' career, he's just dying.
To start over.
I don't think he's dying to go be TNT champion.
Yeah.
I think he knows if WWE backed up the bank, right, which I think they did, WWE has to know how important he is. WWE is going to have to start using him effectively, which they're doing right now. Give him a good title run, and let's go with Kevin Owens. He's where he needs to be. He fits the WWE mold.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who needs to be.
He's got a good storyline right now.
But he's also a guy that doesn't need to be overly vulgar.
Yeah.
To get over with the crowd. So he fits the WWE mold very well.
Yeah.
And I think he'll have a good run here with Monday Night Raw in the next year.
For sure.
Matt Hardy says that WWE may have jumped the gun in releasing Jeff Hardy.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, right. I mean, what the fuck, guys? He obviously something was fucking wrong with him. I said last week I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate again. But when you have a history of doing these things and then you come out and it even looks a little suspect, you have to know when you're a guy who's on thin ice, right? You have to know that when you're a guy who you've used up all of your understanding, all your chances. So even if it just looks a little bit fucked up, they're going to go like, hey man, we can't take a chance with you fucking hurting somebody, right? Now, I hope and pray that AEW doesn't come in and fucking scoop him up, because that sends a bad message to your AEW locker room that like,
we accept all the fuck ups.
Yeah, right. Like we'll take anybody.
Yeah,
we'll fucking take. And
I can't stand him. He's
as more comes out, let this situation cool off. Let it come out. Let's figure out what really is going on. And then if they want to sign him 6 months from now,
everybody on TikTok was like, he's fine. His wife texted and said he's fine. And I'm like, well, of course she is. She's his wife. What do you think she's going to say?
Not
he's
just that.
Up, guys.
Matt Hardy's come out and said like Jeff Hardy's been enabled a little bit by people around him, right?
Yeah.
That obviously, even if these people are all saying he's fine, he may not be fucking fine. Like they may not even know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not speculating. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But what I do know is I think at this point, something was fucked up. He's got to take some time, and everybody's got to take time to get to the bottom of this and figure out, is his head in the game? And is he mentally okay to take on the grind of professional wrestling, which I can't imagine is a fucking easy life to live.
No.
Okay. So apparently Bayley posted some stuff on Instagram that she's pretty close to a return. Okay. That's exciting. I mean, the WWE, we said this a little while ago, they're hurting for some female names, some big stars coming back.
For sure.
You get Alexa Bliss back, you get they need Asuka. Where the fuck did Asuka go?
I don't know.
You need to get Asuka back, and you get Bayley back. That'll kind of solidify what I talk about as WWE has the best women's roster, but it feels real thin right now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Shout out. Hopefully Bayley comes back. I'm guessing Royal Rumble seems like the perfect place to bring someone back.
Uh-huh.
Right? When you're 1 month away from Royal Rumble, that's the perfect place to do like the Bayley return, the Bayley surprise.
Yes, sir.
Bring her back. I'd bring her back as a face too. Because there's a lot of heels in WWE. I'd bring back the whole hugger.
Yeah.
The hugger personality.
Like she came back.
I would have her come out to maybe the like, if I'm booking this, I have her come out to that theme, the dark theme, right?
Yeah.
and then fucking have the Bailey things all come up and have the music switch to the ba ba ba. Well, I can't fucking do songs, but whatever.
Okay. Get it.
Gotta just make mention of this, even though I don't watch Ring of Honor and I haven't been following Braun Strowman, but Braun Strowman showed up at Ring of Honor, the final pay-per-view.
Shit.
It was the last pay-per-view for that company for the foreseeable future. It was kind of the Big Bang Go Out show. And
Forever?
Yeah. Or they're taking time off. They're like reevaluating the company, figuring out what they're going to do. Whole thing going on there. Shout out to Ring of Honor for their run in wrestling. A lot of stars have come from Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Seth Rollins. A lot of those guys cut their teeth in Ring of Honor. So I think Kevin Owens. So shout out to them. But yeah, it was the last pay-per-view for the foreseeable future for Ring of Honor. And Braun Strowman showed up and they referred to him as the Titan, which is a fucking great name for a guy his size. So that was cool. Got to mention it.
I'm excited to see him back in wrestling, so we'll see what happens with that.
I have to mention it, even though I fucking did not watch it, and to be honest, I don't have fucking much interest. In that. Lastly, MJF has gone on record as saying, "I will become the world champion in 2022 or die trying." This is interesting to me because I just made the observation a little while ago that AEW is crowded at the top. There are a lot of guys who have their sights set on that AEW World Championship. And I know everybody knocks the WWE for having so many titles.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like you have to at this point in time, because when you have these rosters that are so bloated at the top, MJF now, right? You got CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Page, Adam Cole, Kenny Omega will be back eventually. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably leaving off a bunch of fucking names of guys who at least have their sights set on that title.
Yeah.
And so when I start looking at 2022, I start mapping it out. AEW doesn't just hand that belt around like WWE does. WWE has a tendency to play hot potato with their titles sometimes. AEW looks like they hold on to champions a little longer. What, you think you get 3, 4, 5 champions in a year?
Yeah,
we can assume. Right. I don't know what happened tonight. I don't know what happened tonight. Once again, but let's assume Adam Page wins tonight. Then you assume he's going to keep that belt at least 2 or 3 months, right? Takes you into February. This is all hypothetical, right? Yeah. Or even Brian Danielson. If Bryan Danielson wins, either one of those guys is probably going to hold that title through the first quarter of 2022, right? Then what? You got CM Punk. Kenny Omega will come back. The guys, either Adam Page or Bryan Danielson, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Where does MJF? I really feel like that AEW has a kind of just a top heavy situation where what do you do? Maybe it's a good problem to have with so many guys that can carry that title, but everybody tries to tell me that the TNT title is not a mid-card title, right? Or I guess they try to explain to me that the TNT title.
Well, like, didn't Miro have it or whatever?
Yeah, which is fine.
And it wasn't that big of a deal, though. I just
you
forgot
can say
that
what
he was
you
a
want,
champion.
but that belt comes off. It at least has the appearance of a mid-card title. AEW needs one more solid, big, chunky title.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to call it.
Big belt.
Don't name it after a fucking TV show, though. Whatever you do, just don't name it after a TV show. But I think you run into a funny situation. I don't know MJF's contract situation, right? But the reality is, if he doesn't win the title and WWE is seriously knocking at the door on being in the MJF business, and when you get Fox involved, I think that, you're now talking about big bags of money for MJF.
And they could say they want him, but you have to allow him to be him.
Or they may not even give a shit what they do. Yeah. They may just want MJF and see what happens.
Yeah.
They may not be even thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
And I doubt,
we'll see.
I don't even know that the people at Fox even fucking know enough about wrestling to know that, like, with a muzzle on, he'll be a different character. I think they just look at him and they go, he's young. He's got all the intangibles. He's probably going to be a top guy in the future. And if AEW doesn't push him to the forefront, I think MJF, from what I see, it doesn't look like he has a ton of allegiance to AEW. Maybe that's just fucking all kayfabe and character, and maybe he loves the company. But
Yeah.
looks to me like he's the type that's willing to just fucking jump ship and go where the money is. Mm-hmm. All right, that's it for the news. Let's get into this week's 20 questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you have a 20 question. You got some suggestions this week.
I did.
People hitting you up to help you out because last week was just way too fucking easy.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you just right off the bat. Like, I think you're gonna have to tell me, like, are we in easy mode here or are we in hard mode?
So
are you looking to just put me on my fucking ass? I'm 2-0.
This is intermediate, I would say.
I'm 2-0 right now. Are you looking? Are you trying to?
Andrew TML on TikTok.
Andrew TML on TikTok. Shout out to Andrew TML for the submission
He
here.
suggested this.
But so are we like?
So
am I going on an Undertaker kind of run where I'm getting to 20-0? Or are you just trying to fuck me up right off the bat?
I mean,
you're just trying to slap me back to reality.
We'll see what happens.
Let's go. Let's do this. Are we ready?
All right, here we go.
We
20
ready?
questions.
All right, let's start right off. Is this person in or associated with the WWE?
So like ever or
Ew.
now?
I don't like that. I don't like that already.
I mean, you got to be a little more.
Is this person currently affiliated with the WWE?
No.
Is this person currently affiliated with AEW?
Wait. So you've got to clarify this, okay? Because I need a little clarification. Like, so you've got to be like. Yes, I mean, yes, they are a person who's affiliated with the WWE. They'd still be part of the WWE family.
Yeah, so the way I assume you have to answer that question is, would they show up on a WWE television show, or are they more likely to show up on a AEW television show?
More than likely, they'd show up on a WWE television show.
So okay.
Yes.
All right. So are we counting the second question?
No, that was question one.
So we're just going to go with question one.
Is this person in
affiliated
WWE?
with WWE? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this question. So obviously, is this person a current WWE superstar?
No.
Okay, so that takes care of that. Was this person a wrestler?
Yes.
Okay, so they did wrestle.
Yes.
Okay. Did this person wrestle in the Attitude Era?
Yes.
Okay. Has this person ever held a world title?
Yes.
All right. Oh, this is getting a little harder here. Does this person have long hair?
Yes.
They do have long hair. Okay. That's not very helpful here. Let's see. Was this person a heel?
Yeah. Yes.
So they were primarily a bad guy?
Yes.
Okay, that's what. How many questions is that? 5?
Yeah.
5 questions? I believe so. I believe I'm keeping count.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this person is a heel from the Attitude Era, long hair. All right, so I gotta start thinking long hair.
Well, no, maybe he was considered a face.
This isn't gonna work if you don't know this.
Okay, well, because I mean, we won't count that one. Next question.
Well, no, because that takes away a lot of my ability to reason is he a face or a heel.
All right. Look this up.
Now I understand guys flip flop, but is he primarily known? Has this person wrestled in the last 3 years?
No.
Okay, so it's not Triple H then. A long-haired heel. And they have held the world championship?
So when you asked me if he was a face or a heel, okay, that's kind of a trick question because he's been both.
But what is he? What was he? Is he primarily known for being good or primarily known for being bad?
I would say more face than heel.
Shit. Okay. Long hair?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't currently wrestle.
No.
So it's not Edge.
No.
Is it? Have you seen this person wrestle ever?
So I know who this person is, and if I've seen him wrestle, I wouldn't have remembered because I wasn't really into wrestling at that time.
I don't like this. Does this person have blonde hair?
Yes. Like dirty blonde.
Dirty blonde hair. Okay. Did they wear like the underwear tights?
Let me double check on that. So, now during which time period though? Or like just overall or
when they wrestled, did they wear the underwear tights?
I don't believe so.
They were okay. So that's 8, I think. You got to keep count because I'm getting off here.
No.
This person wore pants?
Yes.
Whoo! So it's not Val Venus.
No.
Oh shit! I'm a little bit stumped here.
You still got like.
I know I still have questions, but I don't know where to go from here.
All right, so the things we've figured out, right? He was in the WWE at one time. He's been both a heel and a face. He has long, like dirty blonde hair.
Okay. And
by dirty blonde, you know what dirty blonde is, right? Mm-hmm. It can be like a light brown.
Yes.
To a blonde color. Let's see. He has held a major championship before. Okay.
Okay.
And what else do we know about him?
You said he was in the Attitude Era.
Attitude Era. Yeah.
Was this person in you're not going to know this, but was he in like a faction or a group?
Yes.
So he was.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Oh! Ooh, hold on.
Okay.
I might be getting, okay. Is this person associated with the D-Generation X?
Yes.
Is it Shawn Michaels?
It is Shawn Michaels.
Oh! Yes.
Did I almost get you on that one?
Yeah.
But was I right when I said he was a face and a heel?
Yeah, I think that's the proper answer for that because I don't think you really can associate Shawn Michaels with either one. That's interesting. My first initial reaction was that you were heading down a Triple H path. And I thought, well, I would associate him as being a heel.
Heel, yes. I know he would be a heel, but
then
Shawn Michaels...
I didn't think you'd go Val Venus, which is where my head kept going.
Val Venus. It's definitely Val Venus. No, it's not
Shawn
Val Venus.
Michaels, good.
I thought for sure you would know this one because you should know that I'm going to associate things with things that I know.
That's funny though, but if you look at my history with wrestling, I have never been a fan of wrestling and been engaged when Shawn Michaels was important. It was always like I'd watch, Shawn Michaels would show up and I'd stop watching. Not because of him, but just for some reason. So I've never seen Shawn Michaels live. Uh-huh. Scratch that. I may have seen him in like
that's why I said I could have seen him wrestle and not known because I wasn't paying attention at that time because I think he took a break, then he came back for a hot minute and, you know.
Yeah, good one. That's a good question. I mean, that was a good one. Good shot. Who was that from?
That was from our TikTok follower and it was, let me find his name.
Almost got me.
Andrew TML.
Shout out Andrew TML. Almost fucking got me. Almost got me. That's not because I don't think of him when I go Attitude Era.
He gave me the Junkyard Dog, and I was about to do the Junkyard Dog, but I was like, I don't think you know enough about him.
I never got there yet.
I Googled him.
I gotta, because I'm studying up, and I'll get to there.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, intermediate is about as hard as I can go right now. We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right.
Junkyard Dog.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I could have got there.
You got it though. I was nervous for you for a second, and I was like, he's gonna know. He's gonna know because he's from San Antonio.
It's a little scary because I struggled with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit scary. All right though. All right. Anything else? I don't think we got anything else. We'll put up the Twitter polls this week. We'll try and get some up on Instagram. We don't have enough fans on YouTube to do YouTube polls, so maybe we'll just try and drive some traffic to Twitter.
Okay.
I keep saying Instagram. Twitter. I'm trying to drive some traffic to Twitter anyway.
What's your Twitter?
This has been another episode of the Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am NerdyD. On the ones and twos, that's Level Up Lauren, and you can ring the final bell.